Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Duffy Hayes. I'm with Informa Markets and Natural Products Insider, and we're excited today to preview a big session happening at SupplySide West later this year. It's all about clinical trials, which, as you know, are becoming more and more important and more relevant to the dietary supplement and food ingredient space. And actually, the session, let me get to the details here. It's going to be Tuesday, October 24th, 1 to 4 at the Mandalay Bay. And it's part of the SupplySide West show. The first half of this session is actually going to be all about technology and artificial intelligence. It's going to be an amazing topic to take up. And today we have a perfect guest for that. We have Dr. Jeff Chen. He's CEO and co-founder of Radical Science. Radical is doing some amazing things with AI and tech, and he's going to present some of that at the show. Jeff, thanks for being here, and maybe can you give us an idea of what you have planned for the audience there?
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me, Duffy. And yeah, it's a really exciting time. I think AI is one core piece of technology that is going to be relevant for the entire supplement industry and especially for Radical. And in addition to AI, there's other things, just the notion of virtualization in general that certainly got accelerated during the pandemic. So for a big chunk of the session that I'll be speaking on specifically is how companies can leverage AI and virtualization to enable faster and more affordable clinical trial approaches, and whether those clinical trial approaches are used for you in your product development process, all the way to a formal clinical trial to, say, substantiate strong clinically proven claims. These are all principles that can apply across the board.
Yeah, and digital health technologies are bringing in so many more people to be able to participate in these kind of clinical trials. And I think the virtual nature that you're talking about really lends itself to more people being involved and studied, right?
100%. And not only does it allow you to have sometimes an order of magnitude larger sample size for not that much more cost, or sometimes even more affordably in a virtual model, you think about the diversity of the people that you can get into your study. You kind of wonder who actually participates in a physical clinical trial. Well, it's anyone that lives within driving distance of the hospital or the university and has a bunch of free time to go sit in traffic and deal with this stuff. You know, it's not it's not single parents, it's not night shift workers, it's not mobility impaired folks that are participating in these trials. So with the virtual trial, you can have people participate from the comfort of their own home. So you get more diversity in who participates. And the data that you're collecting is more reflective of how your product is actually going to behave in the real world. Because in the real world, I don't go to get my supplements from a medical facility and take it and go back a week later. I'm just in my own home using it on my own without someone watching me every day physically under supervision. So that data is more reflective and accurate of the real world effects of these products as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things, data or technology in our lives it's pervasive, but you can use it in such a positive way this way. You staying connected to this clinical trial, what kind of technology are we talking about? Is it like wearable devices or just always checking in with your phone? What kind of technology are we talking about here?
Yeah, so it's a combination of a few things. There are certain patient-reported outcome measures that we collect via your smartphone. There are elements of wearables that you can incorporate, and so we can track other metrics as well. And then also in certain instances, there are actual biomarkers that we can send people. These are little kits that we can send to collect saliva, these auto lancets that can collect a little bit of blood, sometimes stool samples, and they can mail those back to a laboratory partner. So we can actually get those data as well. And again, all these things before used to involve them having to physically go in, have these samples collected. It's much more expensive. It adds also delay. And most importantly, it excludes 98% of the population who just simply don't have the time or don't live within driving distance of a blood collection facility or a hospital running the clinical trial.
Yeah, the ramifications of clinical trials being, cheaper, for lack of a better term, or more accessible to more companies. I think we're going to learn so much in the next decade or so. Just the amount of clinical data we're going to have is really going to be cool to see, I think. Jeff, I have to let you go. I don't want to let you go without asking about what Radical's doing out of their booth this year. Tell us about the actual clinical test that's happening. or clinical
Sure.
trial, I should say. I'm sorry.
Sure. No, and this was a great collaboration that we have with the organizers of Supply Side West. It's never been done before, but basically what we saw was an opportunity where you have so many people physically at Supply Side West, and so there's tremendous diversity there. And so we saw an opportunity to do a hybrid model using our virtual technology, but also to run a clinical trial at Supply Side West. So people will come by our booth, they will be randomized to an energy product. None of them have caffeine in it, and one of the products is placebo. So they'll be randomized to that, they're blinded to it, and then our technology will follow them throughout the day and track measures of their fatigue, their energy, their cognition, any side effects that they might be getting, and boom, within a 72-hour period in collaboration with Supply Side, we can conduct basically the fastest, largest, rigorous clinical trial ever done on supplements, and specifically studying an area that is very understudied, which is non-caffeine containing energy products.
Yeah.
And so imagine being able to unlock a potential fundamental new category of being able to support people's energy and productivity throughout the day without over-reliance on the hero caffeine products. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, this is amazing. Anyone who's watching this, go to the booth, be a part of the trial. This is a really unique experience where you can attend the show and also be part of this really groundbreaking trial. So more on that to come for sure. Jeff, thanks for telling us all about that. We'll see you at the show later this year. Again, Clinical Trials is Tuesday, October 24th from 1 to 4 at the Mandalay Bay. Jeff, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.